What if the world as we know it is on the brink of a third global conflict? Imagine a world where tensions are simmering on the surface like a volcano ready to explode. This is not a scene from a dystopian novel, but a reflection of the current geopolitical environment. The world is watching, holding its collective breath as countries position themselves on the global chessboard. One of the key hotspots is the Middle East, a region that has seen its fair share of conflicts, but the recent events have added a new layer of complexity. Iran, a powerful player in the region, has targeted Israel in a surprising attack. This act has not only intensified the existing tensions, but has also added fuel to the fire of an already volatile situation. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. The Israel-Palestine conflict, a historical dispute that has been a thorn in the side of peace for decades, continues to escalate. The conflict has always been a delicate matter, a ticking time bomb, and it appears that the countdown has begun. The world watches, wondering if this could be the spark that ignites a full-scale war. The gravity of these situations cannot be underestimated. We are standing on a precipice, a turning point in history. The decisions made now will not only shape the future of these nations, but could potentially redefine the world order. Yet the question remains, how did we get here? How did these conflicts reach a point where they threaten to plunge the world into chaos? The answer to these questions is not simple, nor is it straightforward. But to understand the present, we must first delve into the past. The seeds of today's conflicts were sown long ago. We must journey back in time to trace the roots of the Iran-Israel conflict. The timeline of tensions spans decades, each event a thread in the intricate tapestry of discord that we see today. In the mid-20th century, Iran and Israel shared relatively cordial relations. In fact, Iran was among the first Muslim-majority countries to recognize Israel's statehood. However, the picture began to change in 1979 with the Iranian Revolution. This pivotal event saw the overthrow of Iran's monarchy and the establishment of an Islamic republic. Suddenly, Iran's stance towards Israel grew hostile, leading to a severance of diplomatic ties. The 80s and 90s saw a deepening of this animosity. Iran began to openly support groups in opposition to Israel, a policy that persists to this day. This period also saw the emergence of nuclear tensions, as Israel voiced concerns about Iran's nuclear program. Fast forward to the early 21st century, the situation between these two nations remained volatile. Allegations and counter-allegations, proxy wars, and cyber attacks marked the landscape of this tense relationship. The 2018 Iran-Israel incidents in Syria brought the conflict to a boiling point, further straining their already fraught relations. In the last few years, the conflict has escalated. The assassination of Iran's top nuclear scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh in 2020 and the attack on Iran's Natanz nuclear facility in 2021, both of which Iran blames on Israel, have added fuel to the fire. This brings us to the present day, to the attack that has gripped the world's attention, a culmination of years of tension and hostility, a manifestation of deep-seated historical and political disagreements. Each event, each decision, each action and reaction, a stepping stone towards the precipice we now stand on. Each event, a stepping stone towards the precipice we now stand on. Parallel to the Iran-Israel tensions, another conflict has been brewing. The conflict between Palestine and Israel, a complex saga that dates back to the early 20th century. The roots of this conflict lie in conflicting national aspirations, historical animosities, and territorial disputes. The origins of the conflict can be traced back to the fall of the Ottoman Empire after World War I. The British took control of Palestine and, with the Balfour Declaration of 1917, supported the establishment of a Jewish national home in Palestine, which was met with Arab opposition. Fast forward to 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan, dividing Palestine into an Arab state and a Jewish state. The Jewish leaders accepted the plan, but the Arab leaders didn't. In 1948, the State of Israel was declared, sparking the first Arab-Israeli war. Over the decades, the conflict has been marked by several wars, 2 intifadas or uprisings, peace treaties, and countless negotiations. It has seen shifts in power, shifts in territories, and shifts in international allegiances. Today, the conflict is characterized by a complex web of issues, including the status of Jerusalem, the borders of Israel, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, Israeli settlements in the West Bank, and security concerns. It's a conflict that has shaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East and beyond. The Israel-Palestine conflict has also had a significant impact on the wider Arab-Israeli conflict. It has influenced Arab nations' relations with Israel and the West, further complicating the political dynamics of the region. This conflict, with its deep historical roots and intricate political implications, continues to be a major source of tension in the Middle East and a key issue in international relations, a conflict years in the making with repercussions felt far and wide. The world is a chessboard and every move matters. So, let's imagine our global community as a game of dominoes. Each piece represents a nation, and the connections between the pieces represent alliances, treaties, or shared interests. Now let's consider the tension between Israel and Iran, and the separate but related conflict between Israel and Palestine. Picture these as a few dominoes teetering on the edge, their precarious balance threatening to upset the entire game. When one domino falls, it could potentially trigger a chain reaction, causing others to topple in rapid succession. This is the essence of what we call the domino effect. Let's delve deeper. Both conflicts, Iran-Israel and Palestine-Israel, are not isolated. They have complex, intertwined histories and are part of a much larger regional context that includes various superpowers and alliances. For instance, Iran has allies who might come to its aid in a conflict, just as Israel has its own set of allies. The superpowers like the United States, Russia and China have their own interests and alliances in the Middle East. They are the larger dominoes in our game, and if they are pushed into the conflict, the repercussions could be felt worldwide. Then there are the smaller, seemingly insignificant skirmishes that can suddenly escalate. A minor incident or misunderstanding could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, pushing one domino and setting off a chain reaction. It's also crucial to remember that in this global game, there are no winners. The repercussions of such a domino effect would be catastrophic, with potential for widespread destruction and loss of life. This is the grim reality we face when we speak of a potential World War III. We must always strive for peace and negotiation over conflict. In our game of dominoes, it's essential to keep the pieces standing, to maintain balance and harmony, but the question remains, the dominoes are lined up, but will they fall? So, where does this leave us? In the labyrinth of geopolitical tensions, the conflicts between Iran and Israel and Palestine are not merely regional issues. They are intricate knots in the global tapestry, their threads intertwining with others, pulling at the fabric of international peace. Let's take a moment to revisit the key points we've touched upon. The unresolved question of Iran's intentions, the timeline of tensions that has shaped the Middle East, the enduring conflict between Palestine and Israel, and the domino effect these issues could have on the world stage. In the heart of it all, we find Iran and Israel, two nations caught in a cycle of accusations, threats, and military posturing. Their standoff, fueled by a convoluted history and divergent ideologies, has the potential to escalate beyond their borders, drawing in other nations and sparking a conflict on a global scale. Then we have the Israel-Palestine dispute, a testament to how deep-seated grievances and unfulfilled aspirations can fuel a conflict that spans generations. This issue is not isolated but is intertwined with the broader spectrum of Middle Eastern politics, adding another layer of complexity to the Iran-Israel standoff. The possibility of a world war might seem far-fetched, but history has shown us that it only takes a spark to ignite a conflagration. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in 1914 triggered World War I. The invasion of Poland in 1939 marked the beginning of World War II. In both instances, regional conflicts escalated into global wars. However, amidst the storm, there's a beacon of hope. Diplomacy, the art of negotiation, of finding common ground amidst differences, of resolving conflicts not through force but through dialogue. It's not easy, and it's not quick, but it is the only path that leads towards lasting peace. In this global game of chess, peace is the ultimate checkmate.